welcome to Austin City Limits Music Festival. We are in the hot spot of Texas, not just metaphorically, but physically. We are here in one of our attractions, photo op opportunities. We are going to be interviewing local Austin artist, Promqueen. Stay tuned. We're going to ask her some questions. This is the first time performing at this festival, so we want to get insight on her and her performance and her process behind that. Howdy folks, we are back still at ACL Fest. I'm here with the local Promqueen. Oh my gosh, local artisan and musician from Austin. You know, just mentioning that we just do multilingual captioning. You're very much into that. I'm gonna let you explain a little bit about who you are, who is Promqueen, you know, show your inner child.
Yes, absolutely. So, hi, my name is Promqueen. I am a proud second-generation queer Vietnamese American musician right here in Austin, Texas. My music is really centered around my family story, being Vietnamese American and queer, what that all means for me, and I just love to play pretend with my dancers on stage. We throw a pretty theatrical show, but it's really to connect with the greater Asian American community, other folks, BIPOC folks, and so yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah, so I had the pleasure to not only meet you, but interview you before. Last time we were touching upon your first album, you mentioned that you're like, hey, the second album is going to be like the dark underbelly of it all. You know, your first album touches on really what apparently you feel like being Vietnamese American, being like, I'm not ashamed, this is who I am. Yeah. And now this album's touching more of like, but let's not ignore all the bad that kind of came with it, and I'm still kind of struggling with it. And I think as a second generation, not Asian American, but Mexican American, I totally resonate with that. So touch a little bit more about, you know, how does that relay into like ACL Fest? You know, you touched upon it a little bit. And so what does it mean to be performing here, not just as a local musician, but it being your first year and bringing those topics to the audience?
Yeah, great question, Dylan. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's a lot of meaning behind us being here at ACL. One is an Austin musician, local representation, being Vietnamese American, Asian American representation, and queer representation here. To bring those deeper topics, being able to share like my great grandmother's stories of being affected by the French colonizers in Vietnam to here, or my dad's story of like escaping the North Army prisons in Vietnam to make it to the States, like being able to share that from the stage and tell their stories and how I process and relate to it, like that means everything. And to hopefully pave the path for more Asian American BIPOC musicians here at ACL. Like, I think people are open and receptive to it, and like, why not tell more stories and do them in a creative, fun way?
And I think part of it is not only do you really get into it, it definitely shows. You're acting, you're doing like contemporary dance, you were spitting about bars, solid stuff. It really shows that it takes a whole village, and there's a whole village willing to back you up. I've met some of your friends in the audience. They're like, I'm here for, you know, I saw Francine Ruel, who's also an artist and musician. She showed up, and I was like, I gotta snap a picture of her. How did this Promqueen kind of dream and project begin? How did you get that village, and what would you suggest for young artisans to find that sort of village for them?
Yeah, I would say in a culture, especially entertainment, where especially now we have social media, it seems like people get things immediately, right? Like we want to get to ACL, we want to get the Grammy, we want to break in and just get the gold really fast. For me, why this project I feel connected with others and brought us at a faster pace is because I focused on what story I'm telling. What makes me have fun? What's important to me? Like, that's my story. No one can take your story away from you, and that is your power. And then once you know that, you find people who resonate with that, right? Like my village, my team, all are really curious, open creatives. Like, we're experts in our own right, but we've never done this before. And somehow we make it work and we do it together because we know why we're doing it. Like, that's the most powerful thing. So that's my advice.
Tell me this, because I know ACL is very much elevated platform, elevated event.
Yeah.
You just recently did the Front Festival. You even collaborated with an indie orchestra project, which I would love to know more about. Tell me, as an Austin local, do you do this and can you go home at the end of the day, or is it more like, no, you need to be in a hotel, you need to do this? What's the Austin local experience as a lineup artist here?
Interesting, very interesting question, Dylan. I'm as much fun as I am. I think I'm like a boring person. Like I like going home to my own bed and taking a bath, and just relaxing. So I'm pretty much like an introvert. I like to keep it chill. So I would say like I'm probably different than most musicians who party all the time. I have my friends and I hang out with my team and everything. But at the end of the day, I like AC, a bath, and sleeping. So that's me.
Yeah. That's I think the Texan necessity, especially right now. The heat is scorching hot.
Yeah.
The fact that you can go home and not be like, hey, here's a hotel, here's this,
Totally.
Getting to read the room literally.
Yeah.
Is definitely a benefit. And so, I mean, what was the process like of trying to apply for a festival like this?
Yeah. For us, thankfully, we had them, they contacted us. We were hoping to find a contact to get closer to getting here, But we just do what we do best, is that we put on a good show. We work really hard. I mean, it's countless practice. We practice in the dance studio. I write grants to get us money to fundraise. And we work very hard. And our show speaks for itself. At the end of the day, I do look at it like an art project, but it is a product. Mm-hmm. And you got to have a good product, right? And that people can connect with and relate to. So we played a lot of venues. A lot of places really liked our stuff, like KUTX, our local radio station. A lot of the bookers for ACL, they advocated for us, and we're really grateful. Because I'll be honest, it wasn't numbers that got us here. It wasn't social media numbers, and it wasn't Spotify. It was the fact that I think a lot of people advocated for the representation and the show that we put on. So, yeah.
I mean, and so you're doing, absolutely just amazing, mentalities that you're sharing, right? It's finding community, just really sticking to the dream, to the narrative, to and I think this album really resonates with that. I personally love Ain't Perfect. I think if that's one song that has to say the entire album, that would be it. And so, I mean, how does it feel just having this momentum and being so young and just kind of learning to figure out where to roll that boulder next? Because it's getting into a boulder, that sort of project. What is some advice you can give to young musicians? How do you feel being where you're at right now?
Yeah, I would say right now is a really special time because we're all really working hard and together. So I'm just trying to appreciate the moment for what it is, and being it won't be like this always. And everything's going to change and evolve. Some team members may come and go, and that's okay. But just really enjoying the present moment and just being with my crew as we make art right now, and be open to change. That's my biggest advice to that. And my other biggest advice is continue to explore and find other things that inspire you. Always find the thing that gives you charge.
Did you introduce the dancing aspect? How much were you oh, I know for sure I want this, and how much of it was friends, community members, anything being hey, have you considered doing this?
That's a great question. So when I started this project, before in a different music project, I had a band, I had all that stuff. For this one, I was I love performance, musical theater, dancers. I want props, I want a set, because that's what, I don't know, it's just playing pretend. It's why not just have fun? So I was I think I want dancers, because dancers are incredible. They are the physical representation of the music. So they are amazing. So I knew that I wanted dancers, and I knew I wanted to storytell. I choreographed a fight choreo scene for one of our songs, and where else can you do that? And so we're just why not? So yeah, dream big, y'all. Have fun. Be imaginative. Push the envelope.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This has been a wonderful time. Thank you once again.
party, laying down the scene.